Hello and welcome to the business programme. I'm Liz Hay and today I'll be talking to my special guest Leon McGowan, Director of Your Business Mobile. But first we visit the Cinnamon Lounge restaurant in Horbury Bridge, which was featured in one of our earlier business programmes. The restaurant, which specialises in Indian and Bangladeshi cuisine, has just won a prestigious award. And to find out all about it, we go over now to Dave Hodgson.
Thank you. Yes, I am at the Cinnamon Lounge restaurant, which is in Horbury Bridge, and proprietor Sam Meah is with me. Sam, it seems an awful long time since you appeared. It was one of the first of our business programs, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was wonderful, and I really enjoyed in your business program.
Right, well, you've got this award now, and it's a magazine-led award. First of all, before you tell me what the award is, what's the magazine, and how come you got nominated?
It's a Curry Life magazine. It's a national magazine, and we've been voted before. I've never took it serious. We've been voted 3-4 times, but this time I took it serious. Why not enter the Curry Life magazine award? And we did. And with all our supports, like they've sent us some form through the post, and we have distributed to all our customers and put it in our table, and they're all voted for us.
That's pretty good,
to get
isn't
nominated. It is.
A sort of a phew moment, that. So, what is the award? What does it look like?
It looks like a dinner plate.
Well, of course, yes, why wouldn't it?
And it was wonderful, the BBC News report, channel, as a BBC Two.
Yeah.
Jon Snow was there to presenting us with our award,
wow.
So it was wonderful.
So in other words, even more celebrities here, because you've already got a dish named after a famous cricketer, haven't you?
Yes, Darren Gough. Yeah, he's always supported us.
A regular person here. Right, okay. So what was it like? Did they descend on you with notebooks and pencils and look into everything that you had and check your recipes? What was it like?
They all came down and they all looked around.
Did you have you sweating a bit?
Of course, they didn't tell us when they came and sample our food, and they enjoy the food, and that was like the basic thing. I always want people to try my food, and then give us a review, and this is the way it is doing it, rather than buying newspaper and
Absolutely. But now look, how much does this award mean to you?
Very much. It does, it makes me proud,
I mean, in a way, when you bring it down to its basics, it's to get more people in through the door, but it's a lot more work than that, isn't it?
It is. It's not where you see, sometime midweek you're quiet, you're busy on weekend, and people think, oh, this must be, booming. I must be making money, but it's not easy.
No, it's the consistency of getting people through the door.
It's very hard. It's very, very hard with the economy is a bit down.
Come on, you wouldn't swap a job like this for anything, would you?
No way. No way, because I love this job. I've been doing this since age of 15, so I love doing it.
Oh, only a couple of years then?
It is.
So lastly then, could it be, he says, standing back in amazement, that part of the reason that you got this award was because you appeared on our business programme?
It could be. It could be. And thank you very much for Kirklees TV for doing my interview.
So there you go, guys. Get onto the business programme. They're all standing by and they would like you to come on and present your company. So from Dave at Horbury Bridge, back to the studio.
Thanks, Dave. And now back to this week's guest, Leon McGowan. Leon has worked in the mobile telecommunications industry for over 20 years, and he likes nothing more than to help businesses get the most out of their communications using a mix of technology. His desire to help customers run their companies more efficiently and also to drive them on to the next level. Leon has helped build 3 companies which sold to corporate networks for in excess of £10 million. And with an aptitude for sales, he also runs an organisation called the Sales Dojo. Leon has recruited, coached, trained and developed over 1,000 sales advisors, helping to generate millions of pounds in revenue. But for the salespeople and their families, he's helped to buy the little luxuries that those bonus payments have afforded them. Hi Leon, and welcome
Liz.
to the programme.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about your business mobile and where you're based?
Okay, cool. So we are based out of 2 offices. One is just over the road from here in the Media Centre in Huddersfield, and the other one is in the Cotton Exchange in Liverpool. We've been in operation for 6 years now, and we service clients which are north of Chester, all the way up to Carlisle, over to York, and then down to Sheffield.
And what does a typical client look like, Leon? And what's your philosophy when you're working with customers?
Okay, so I spent a lot of time looking at this, what your perfect target market is and your perfect client looks like. And we thought it might be industry related, we thought it might be related to area, and it was none of them things. The crazy thing is, there's 2 key things that most of our clients have. One is acronyms in the name, which is a strange one.
Okay.
And the other one is family run and owned businesses. So our typical client is 50 plus. He or she's been working in that industry for 30 years, maybe a bit more. Typically, there are sons, daughters, nieces, nephews who work in the business, and also typically the girlfriend or the daughter often works in accounts. Our philosophy with those clients is that we want to help them to drive their business using mobile technology. So for 14 years, we helped people save money on their mobile phone bills, and we did that for a number of other different companies. In that time, we worked out the best way for businesses to use mobile technology to drive them forward. So rather than looking for savings or trying to find the cheapest deal, what we help our clients to do is to find the best deal that helps them run their business a bit smoother or a bit smarter.
And are you noticing, Leon, any particular communications trends or any stark differences that affect maybe the small to medium-sized companies versus larger companies, or indeed the established businesses versus the more newer companies?
Yeah, sure. So for us, our target market is businesses that were in operation well before mobile smartphones became real time. So about 10 years ago the iPhone came out, but it was only about 5 or 6 years ago that smartphones really came to the fore, and that's because before then they were a bit of a luxury item. So anyone who's in operation in a business before 5 or 6 years ago, generally these mobile smartphones have come in after they've already started their business, and these are the kind of things that they're not integrating into their business very well. All of the new startups in the last 5 or 6 years, most of them are technology based. Most of the companies are set up these days are fintech. They're based around an app. They're based around mobile technology. So they're not the kind of people that we help. The kind of people that we do help are the businesses that have been going more than 5 to 10 years, often more than 20 years, and we help them to get these pesky mobile phones to be a part of their day-to-day business. That includes tracking where the guys go, sending and receiving jobs, making sure that the guys can keep in touch with you, that ask each other questions, that kind of thing.
And how important is it to review your mobile contracts and be open to changing them?
Well, it's really important that you keep an eye on reviewing your contracts on a regular basis. Often we see with clients is that bad habits lead to expenses. So when mobile technology is brought in and there's a certain app or a certain way of doing something, the typical example would be picture messaging. So picture messaging is something that costs a lot of money. It costs 50 pence for a picture message if you don't have them attached to your existing plan, but you can do them for free if you've got WhatsApp. And often I see people and businesses who've got, the guys are sending picture messages instead of using emails or WhatsApp in order to send them around, or using a dedicated app. So it's really important to keep an eye on that kind of stuff on a regular basis. You see utilities, and you see people talking about checking utilities all the time. What happens in mobile technology is after about 3 or 4 months, the technology and also the tariffs that are available have been superseded by newer ones. And often you can move on to the newer technology or the newer tariffs without any cost implications, which is really important. And one of the things that we like to try and do is speak to businesses and help them to understand that there are other options available, and even though you're in a 24-month contract, you may be able to improve what you've got and actually reduce the costs in the interim.
So would you say then that there are any hidden costs surrounding changing a provider or a tariff?
So if you change when you're within your contractual obligations, then there will be a cost involved, that because you are usually contractually obligated to be with one of the networks for a certain amount of time. There is no cost from us coming in and having a look at what you're doing and giving you a few pointers and hints and tips, and it's something we do on a regular basis, where I'll bump into a client at an event, or a potential client at an event, or we'll bump into someone at a networking event and have a chat, and they'll be telling me that the bill should be 200 quid, but it's actually 300 quid. And if you go and have a look, it's usually a couple of bad habits that are affecting that price. So there are contractual obligations and costs, but you can fix a lot of the problems that you have in mobile phones just by being a bit smarter with it.
A bit smarter. I suppose if you've got a large workforce as well, you multiply that by the number of employees you've got, can make a huge saving over
One of the things that we often say is pretty much it's mobile phones, it's mobile tariffs, it's mobile networks, and it's the staff who are going to be using these mobile phones. On top of that, you've got different software available. For my clients, pretty much the only thing we can guarantee is something's going to go wrong in the 2 years. Because we keep really close to all of our clients, we know that we'll inform them of them challenges that they're having before they find out on a big massive bill.
Okay, so it's recommended that they speak to somebody like yourself that can have a look, see what they're doing, maybe look at some bad habits and perhaps point them in the right direction.
Yeah.
And so what does the future hold, do you think, in terms of mobile communications? Because obviously at the moment there's advances in technology, we're available 24/7, instantaneous data coming at us all the time. What's your sort of views on what's next?
So the big thing that's going to be happening in mobile technology is 5G. So everyone will currently be using 4G technology. G stands for generation, so it's the 5th generation of mobile technology. The really interesting thing about that is that's probably going to be about 10 or 15 times faster than the fibre broadband that people have at home. And it can also, using mobile technology, reach a lot of places that fibre broadband can't reach. The infrastructure in this country isn't great in terms of broadband. Liverpool city centre, where one of our offices is, has got really rubbish infrastructure, so that a lot of the businesses in there, because of the old buildings and because of the roadways, can't actually access high-speed data technology, which we need nowadays. So part of the reason why BT bought EE recently was because they understand that they need to be able to reach into this 5G technology, which is going to change the landscape. So that's a really interesting thing that's going to happen in the next couple of years. 5G technology will probably be the norm by the end of 2020, and it'll start dripping in 2019.
Okay, and what might some of the benefits or disbenefits of that sort of thing coming in for consumers?
So like any technology, the initial problems that are going to be faced are the lack of availability of it, and also the increased cost in technology. But again, like anything that happens, HD TVs a few years ago were £1,000, all of a sudden they're £200 and everyone's got access to them. So that will eventually phase in. A lot of the early adopters will take hold and start pushing the price of these kind of things down. The advantages are that, you know, workforces will be able to access lots of data a lot quicker and a lot cheaper out on the road. So whereas one of your members of staff might need to come back to the office to do lots of work and download or upload some stuff, that stuff's going to be available for them to do in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere.
Great.
It's really interesting.
Useful. Yeah, so look out for 5G.
Definitely.
Great, thanks Leon. Now that's all we have time for on today's show, but I'd like to thank my guest Leon McGowan for joining me, and I'll see you all again next time on the Business Programme.